Hi guys, thank you for joining me on this interview today. I'm really excited for this one. Today, Alex is joining me. Say hi, Alex.
Hi there. Hi.
Alex is a chief stew and she's been in the industry for quite a few years now, so she's got quite the interesting stories to share with us today. So let's get started. First of all, Alex, what are you currently up to?
At the moment, I am at home in my home country. I'm from Poland, so I'm staying here. I've been here for last 2 weeks. With the COVID, obviously, it's a tricky situation. I am looking for a job. I'm between the jobs. I was based for last few months in Fort Lauderdale, and I flew back to Poland. I decided to be based here, just the reason why the Met season is approaching, and I think being within EU, I think will give me a better and bigger opportunity to find a job here. So I'm spending my time doing this and job searching basically every day.
Okay, so how long have you been in yachting for?
So I joined Yachting in 2013. That was my first Med season. My first vessel, that was 43 meters. I was working as a second stew. And Yeah, it's been a long journey. I've worked on the vessels from 33 to about 49 meters as a second stew, and last 4 years in a chief stew role. I did a Met season, and I also did the season on the other side of the pond in America, Bahamas, Caribbean, and Latin America.
Okay. And then tell me what were you doing before yachting?
My background is hospitality. Before I joined yachting, I work as a housekeeping stewardess on a cruise liners. It's the company called Seabourn. They weren't the big ones, that you see, those massive ones with 4,000 people on it. Small luxury, only 200 guests and about 168 crew. And that time they had only 3 vessels traveling worldwide. So I work 4 months on, 2 months off contract, and I work as a housekeeping stewardess. I was responsible for 10 suites. And this helped me, was much easier to transit to basically the yachting because I knew the housekeeping department very, very well. Before that, I lived in South Africa for 6 years. That's how I know you from. That's where we met in Cape Town years ago. And Yeah, crazy times.
Yeah,
and
so long
I
ago.
I've worked predominantly in fine dining restaurants, clubs, and supper clubs. I started from being a waitress to a bar girl to manager and event coordinator. And that was a great experience for me. And that was also the skills that I gained, in a restaurant, in fine dining service, that I could bring to the acting as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's an awesome work experience history for that transition for sure. Okay, so tell us your story of how you got into yachting. So when you found out about yachting, what was the steps you took in order to get in and to make that move?
So it was actually a luck, I would say. I was working on a cruise liner that time. That was year 2012, and one of our port of call was Monaco. And in my free time, I was working in a marina, and I overheard guys speaking English, and they had South African accents, and I started chatting with them, and they were deckhands from South Africa, and I asked them, how did you guys get a job on those beautiful boats? And they told me that they did their STCW and ENG1 in Cape Town at the maritime. There was like a maritime agency over there, and
Mhm.
and then they just basically they flew to Antibes, and they explained me this whole thing, and I was just like, oh wow, that's great. And next year, I was in South Africa. I was on a holiday. I was in Cape Town, and I signed for STCW course. I did my ENG one in Cape Town as well. And then I flew back to Europe. First, I went to Palma in the island of Mallorca. That was in June, and I was there for about 4 days. And I honestly didn't like the idea of dog walking. It's not me. It's not who I am as a person.
Nobody does.
I don't have that personality of just going and talking to the strangers. Like. I mean, awesome. Some people can do that, but it wasn't me, and I was very frustrated. And one of the agencies told me, "Go to Antibes. You can maybe find a job over there." So then I jumped on a plane and I flew to Antibes, and I stayed in a crew house. That was my first crew house experience, and I was staying at the Grapevine, which honestly I think it's the best thing that could happen to me, because in that crew house you have a great support system from the owners, from Jen and Jason. They are former Yachties. Jen is a former chef and Jason is a captain, and they helping you with everything. They have also good network with the captains in Antibes and in the area, and they also helping us how to look for a job, and we would have a weekly session with Jason in a crew house with questions to ask and answers. So it was a great support system, and I've learned a lot over there. And then basically 2 weeks later, I've landed my first job on my first boat, and it happened so quickly. It was literally a phone call from a captain on Thursday, about an hour chat, and on Friday I was flying to Naples, and then I was in Capri Island, and that's how my season started. So everything happens so quickly. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot over that first season when job searching, and then I went back a year later when I was looking for a job again. And you learn over those years going back and doing a job search, how to do it in a very effective way, so
Yeah.
you don't waste so much time and money, because it's very, very expensive to look for a job. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like little things that you learn through experience.
Exactly.
But it takes time, and it costs money to like learn all those silly mistakes that
Yeah.
you made, and like, okay, I shouldn't do that again. Da, 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 da. And that's something that I really teach in this masterclass that I'm doing, is everything that we've been through and all the mistakes that we've made. I basically give it to people in a few hours so that they don't have to go through that process.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all the knowledge and experience that you have now, looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Uh, I think there are steps that you need to take, while you're searching for CVs. One of the things is to be prepared, be well organized. That's the thing is, and it's
Mhm.
lots of self-discipline while you're searching, because there are certain traps along the way, and I will tell you about them while you're looking for a job. From my experience of my first season, when you're staying in a crew house, when I joined yachting, I was 32 years old, and 33 actually, and I was older, let's put it that way. And I actually, one of the agents, I'm not going to say the name, she's a well-known lady in Antibes, she told me, maybe you shouldn't be joining the yachting industry. I would suggest, to marry it and have a children. That were her
I think
words.
I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I was just like, what? But I didn't give up. I was just like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna show you that
Yeah.
I will get that job. And she was clearly
Yeah.
mistaken. But I was staying in a crew house with the much younger, people that they were 19, 20 years old, and they were coming from countries like South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. And I was like, wow, guys, you're coming from other side of the world. And I believe that probably parents help them financially. I get no financial help from my parents. I have my own money that I had saved, but probably, some of them, the parents put all their hopes and dreams for their children, to be successful in this industry. And
Yeah.
they were partying like no tomorrow. I was sharing a room with two guys, one from South Africa and one was from New Zealand, that they were partying every night. This is what's happening when you are in Antibes, when you're in Palma. You are far away from your family. You go nuts over there, you know. I'm not saying it's happening with everyone, but it is happening. This is the trap that we're falling. And part of getting a job in those yachting hubs is socializing and as a part and the networking, and we have to do this. It's part of this whole experience, you know, to get a job. And I know people that would get a job in a bar, you know, and there was a captain, there was a chief mate, chief stew, you had a couple of drinks with them, and the next day you will go, they work on the boat, and then they will take you for a permanent position. It happens. But those two boys were partying and they were too hangover every morning to go do the dog walking or to go to see the agencies.
To do anything,
and you know what? Yeah, exactly. And I've seen people packing their bags and flying back to their home countries after a few months of not finding jobs. That's something, you know, you need to be really determined to get that job, and working hard towards getting that job. So I think that's one of those things. Just don't fall into that trap. You will have enough time to party with your crew when you're going to be on board, believe me. But right now, when you're really serious about getting in this industry, be serious about it and be serious about yourself and just work hard toward it. So I would say be well prepared, not only financially, because it can take you 2 weeks, like for me, but it can take you 2 months. Having a day work, you know, that it's a good thing to learn about the boats, about the work on a boat, but also it gives you influx of money that you can pay a rent and living while you're looking for a permanent position. I think before you even fly, and this is what I'm doing even right now, before I fly to a destination when I will be looking for a job, make sure that your CV is done perfectly, your picture is good. Even for the green people, you know, make sure that you are signed with all the agencies already, because it is so time consuming. My first week when I was looking for a job, I literally was waking up every morning, have a breakfast, and I would have first 3 days I would spend just sitting in the front of computer and signing and uploading with the agencies. And that was 2013. That's like a 7, 8 years ago, right? Imagine now I'm looking for a job right now. I just compiled a list of agencies that I am working with. It's 61 of them that I have to check in and I have to update and I have to follow up with them. You know, back in the days, it wasn't so many agencies. So it's very, very time consuming. If you do this already at home before you fly to Antibes or to Fort Lauderdale or to Palma, that's going to be about a week that you don't have to do those kind of things. So I think one of the steps, it's the preparation. It's to have all those agencies in a duck. Like seriously, it's going to be so much easier. And then what I would do, I would send email to the agency or call them and make appointment with them, because some of them, they're operating in certain hours. Some of the agents are having certain days off. So I would always make appointment, and certain days I would spend just on the agencies. And you go from one to another one where you're introducing yourself, when you're speaking to the agents, whether it's the interior department, whether it's the deck department, the engineering, you speak face to face. You have to dress quite well. I've never wore a skirt and a polo shirt when I was going for an interview with agencies. I was always wearing a smarter dress, flat shoes. You know, be yourself. You're not working on the boats yet. You don't have to look like a yachty. For the boys, I would say smart chinos or jeans with a nice button shirt. I would wear on the colder days smart pants and a button shirt and even a jacket. You know, you have to look professional at the end of the day. And it's very time consuming to chase those agencies, to call, to see them. When you're in Antibes, there's so many of them, not only in Antibes, but they are based in Cannes, they're based in Gulf Juan, they're based in Monaco. So, you know, you've got this whole train connection. Sometimes the trains are late in France. That's happening very late. I missed so many interviews because of the train. So you know what? Even if you have to leave your house an hour earlier, to be earlier, but be on time, because you know
Yeah.
those things are happening. But it is very time consuming, and I would suggest just to organize yourself from the beginning, that you have everything, and then fly in, and be based there. Today, uh, the Facebook has so many groups right now, uh, that you can actually be part of them when they're advertising for jobs, and they're giving you advice, you know, how to join the Yachties. 7 8 years ago, it wasn't so popular. There was some
Yeah.
groups, but it wasn't so popular. And Instagram, it's massive today, and I would suggest there to follow certain you know, stewardesses, boats. They have their own profile right now on Instagram. Agencies, they have all their own profiles on Instagram. It's good to follow them, and it's good to you can find the jobs over there as well. Instagram is massive. I think you have to be aware of your own Instagram account, what you're posting over there, and your Facebook account, because I'll tell you from my perspective as a chief stew, when I have a people applying for us for a stewardess job, the first thing we chief stews are doing, we go to your Facebook, and
Mm.
it's harsh, but we are judgmental. And if you see a girl applying for a stewardess with a drink in her hand on every picture, that's already raised a small red flag. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. This is the reality. And you guys, my account is personal. It's closed, and nobody from outside can see it. But even the friends of my friends on Facebook are the agents. I still have to be careful not to be too political, too open-minded, because too of whatever, because people are judgmental, and they will judge you, and they will say, well, you know, I saw this post about this and that. I don't think I will give this girl a job. So you guys need to be
Yeah.
aware of that. You know, it's the
Yeah.
same with Instagram. Unfortunately, this is the reality of the acting, and I think outside of the box when you're applying for a job. Today, you are able to make the videos. I've seen some girls, they did the cool videos on TikTok. I think that was last season when they were looking for a job. I found this really, really great idea when you are looking for a job, you know, to reinvent yourself. I had to reinvent myself right now when I'm looking for a job. And wherever you are working on a junior or senior position, this is something you have to do. You have to think outside of the box, because there is so much competition at the moment, especially with the COVID, so many people looking for a job, that you have to be different than anybody else. So, you know, if you're posting something on your Instagram, post something that can relate to the yachting as well. Whether you love traveling, you love sailing, you're interested in home decorations, you're interested in doing a flower arrangement, show those skills, because those people who will be looking for you, they will find it on your Instagram, and they will say, hey, I like her profile, I think she will be a great part of our team, you know.
Mm.
So there's lots of things you can do right now when you're looking for a job. I think when you're looking for a job, courses, any courses you can do. I know it's quite expensive, but for any people who are starting the industry, if you don't have those transferable skills that you can bring to the yachting, which is, let's start with stewardesses, I would say any housekeeping experience, any restaurant, bar experience, that's something you can start with. For the boys, if you are a carpenter, you know, and you have those carpentry skills, I think that's a great skill to bring to the deck, or to be an
Mm.
engineer. If you finish any engineering school, that's one of those skills to bring in. But if you don't have any of those, and you think this is an industry for me, I want to give it a try, do those courses, do those junior beginner courses. I know you can find many of them online today. There is many of them in Antibes where you there. Blue Water does them. The Crew Academy in Goljuan. also is helping
Yeah.
you. Even in Cape Town, there's a great stewardess academy. They have the little boat yacht there in the marina, and they're teaching the girls all those skills. Learn as much as possible, so you can, once you get this job, you can just dive in. You're not gonna struggle.
Yeah.
That's just in a nutshell what I can tell you. What I wouldn't do, what I wouldn't do, I think I would be more prepared when I went to Antique.
Yeah.
I would be more prepared and more organized, because I spend lots of time applying, uploading. That's very, very time consuming at the end of the day. Do this
Yeah.
prior you even put yourself on a flight. Yeah.
And also, it's not always the fact that it's just, it takes so long for the websites and there's so many agencies, but so often their websites crash and then you have to redo everything. I mean, I remember we once went home and it took us 2 weeks to update all our stuff on all the agent websites. 2 weeks. And it wasn't because it was so many agencies, it was because their websites would crash. And then it's devastating. Like,
Some of the websites are it's under construction, and then what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I do, today you can find so much on the internet. I Google actually contact them. I found the email address and I write. I have like a generic letter that I write. That I introduce myself and just a couple of sentences about myself. Who am I? Where am I based? What am I looking for? You attach your CV if you have a reference letter already, and you ask the agency if they can please upload your file on their website, because there is a problem. You have to chase those agencies. That's what I do. If I see a new agency, if I cannot upload on a website, I am in touch with the contact. And I think what's important, if we talk about being organized, also write it down. I have my little note when I write the name of the agent, because it's important to know they by the name, who you're speaking to, the telephone number, the email address, the website, your passwords. Guys, I forgot my password so many times and I have to restart again this whole thing. And have a good cover letter as well. Cover letter helps as well. And also, English is not my first language. I'm Polish. I've never heard a proper education at school when I learned English. I've learned English in Holland when I was taking English courses, and then when I lived in South Africa. For non-English speakers, use Grammarly. It's a great tool to have, because let me tell you this, people, when you will be applying for the jobs, they reading your emails, they are reading your cover letters, and they can see your spelling mistakes, and they can see the way you're writing. There are boats that they don't mind having people that their English is not their first language, but there are boats you will see those advertisements when it says only native English. I know it's very frustrating for some of us. I'm a European. I'm Polish, and it can you can get angry with it. I don't find it as a racism or anything like it. It is what it is. And me being a chief stew, I understand where the owners or the captains or the agents are coming from and why is it the reason behind. And I think any of us should take it personal. Okay, that's one of the very important things. But use Grammarly. It's an application. You can download it on your laptop, and it just does this thorough spell check, and it's really great. I've been using it for a while right now. So you look and sound more professional, basically. I'm also making mistakes all the time. But at the end of the day, you have to do all those things to look like a wholesome candidate, basically. And somebody will accept you and they will take you on board.
Paying attention to the finer things right from the beginning.
It's the details, because it's when we're working on the boats, it's all attention to details. So you have to start with it, at the beginning. And I will always say, don't give up, perseverance, and be very, very, very positive. That's one of the things. I have those days when I'm like, oh my God, 3 days and I haven't heard anything from anybody. And then another day there would be like so many jobs, and you're gonna be so busy with emails, and you know the adrenaline is rushing.
Yeah.
It's normal, but just guys, just don't give up. Invest in yourself in that time as much as possible. Watch the videos on YouTube. There's so much tutorial right now, especially you know the green crew, and don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, uh, there are lots of groups on Facebook when you can like your group at the moment that you can just go and ask questions. There will be one or two person that they will be nasty to you and say, you know, and they will laugh at you.
Not in our group.
Uh, you know, I made that mistake once that I posted a question on a stewardess group, and I was laughed at by other chief stewardesses. I just
Yeah.
didn't know something, and I don't. And this is something I always say to my junior stewardesses: it's better to ask questions than make a stupid mistake. And
Yeah.
and I believe in asking the questions and learning. People who are bullying you and they nasty on social media, you know, we shouldn't pay attention to them. But I've seen it. I've seen greenies advertising themselves, which is great that you are advertising yourself on social media. Just be careful with certain informations that you are providing on your CV, your
Yeah.
personal informations. There will be some guys over there. There are quite lots of perverts over there that will
Yeah.
start harassing you. You, especially the females, be careful. But I've seen those negative ones of, you know, you look too fat or things like that. I mean, there are people out there that are just miserable with their life, but you shouldn't be discouraged because of them. You
Yeah.
know, I think we are a great community. I've seen this so many times over the years. Yachting, it's a great community. We like to help each other in many situations. And I think you having so much experience on the boat, being a chief stew, and so me as well, we have to support the younger one, the junior crew, you know. People forgetting how did they started, where they coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we were also the
Yeah.
one
That's
looking for jobs, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing though, is that was the whole reason why I started the Start Yachting group, is just because I saw so much bullying, and it's unnecessary. Like everybody started somewhere, and we all had to ask questions in the beginning,
Yes.
and I found it was so unfair, like for the newcomers coming in. So that's the purpose behind it. And so I mean, even for people who are not just starting yachting, but for people who want to transition into chief stewardess, if you know, if you're watching this video and you're in that position, come and ask it in the Start Yachting group. We're not just catering to newcomers. Like there are
Yes.
experienced people in there who can still answer all your questions without any bullying. I've
Exactly.
sat, Warren and I have sat, and we have just removed people if their comments seem negative, or we'll
Yeah.
send them a little message directly,
Yeah.
because that's not the point of the group. So
I know you guys always trying to be diplomatic over there, you know,
yeah.
and kind, but there are some thick-headed people, they just don't get it. And you know what, those people, maybe they're part of our community, but they will never be successful. They won't be liked by the others. They will fail
Yeah.
at some point, you know, and we
Mm.
shouldn't be paying much attention to them either. But you know, they can bring that negativity to the junior crew that is trying so hard to get in. And it's I'm against it. Like when I read those comments, sometimes I want to be nasty and I just want to tell them how it is, but I also have to you know. So
Yeah.
but this is the reality of social media. You know, there are angry people behind the keyboards that they doing what they doing. I think we should just
Yeah.
stick to our guts and follow our guts. And if you believe that this is what you want to do in your life, this is what you want to do for next few years, just as a life experience, why not do it? You know, I
Yeah.
I see one thing from the yachting. It's a great opportunity, one of the best opportunities you guys can get it in life, because it's not only working in a 5-star environment. It's the people you are with. You're working with the international crew. You're working with people from all over the world with different mentalities, tradition, languages. you have to be so flexible to fit in that melting pot on a boat, the things you learn about yourself and about the others. You will never learn this when you live on the land. Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Second thing is the traveling part. You will travel the world. I can tell you, I've been to over 86 countries, and I'm still hungry. I still want to go. I still want to see places. And that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have those days when you're gonna be working 3 weeks straight, 16 hours a day. You're gonna be so tired, but then you're gonna get that time off, and you're gonna be in beautiful Italy, in Amalfi Coast. And I hope you're gonna rent that car, and you're gonna drive, and you're gonna see those beautiful areas, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
wow, it was so worth it. That's your life experience that is given to you. Nobody will take it away from you. But I think, take it. And plus, money is really good. We don't pay taxes. You can really, if you're smart enough, you can settle yourself for life. If you're not gonna spend all your money over all those years, you're gonna be smart of spending your money, but also saving. You can invest in a property in your own home countries. By the time you retire from the industry, you can have already a couple of properties. You can start your own business. I mean, the opportunities coming from the yachtings, they are endless, So I think you should just take it in, take the whole experience, the good and bad that is coming within, and just enjoy the ride. That's what I would say.
Just go for it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna end the interview right here. Alex, thank you so much for all that information that you shared. I hope everybody has been taking notes. That was quite a lot. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish all the best to all of you guys that applying for jobs. Please, if you have any question, ask Sharne. You can ask me as well. I'm happy to help with anything. I have lots of people that are asking me questions. They finding me on Facebook, and I'm always happy to reply and help you. I'm happy also to provide to you, Sharne, my agencies list. If you want to post it on your group as well, I can send you the copy of it, so you guys can have it as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.